Ever since I was a child, my imagination ran wild with ideas of science fiction. Thinking, conceptualizing, dreaming of universes in which there were aliens, spaceships, intergalactic organizations. Perhaps we had reached a point where technology had become so advanced we could simply download information into our brains, or major surgeries were simply operations performed by artificially intelligent machines, or that video games had become something we could enjoy in a different world completely. Before I even knew what virtual reality was as a child, my imagination was rampant with thoughts of it. The idea that someone could escape to a completely different world where you didn't interact with controllers, but with your body and your mind. That someone could escape to a completely different universe that wasn't even conceivable in our own. That someone could do whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and experience anything, with their imagination as the only limit to their freedom. This is, and has been, virtual reality for me. So you see, my relationship with virtual reality is a long one. Though physically it may only be about to begin, I have been dreaming about virtual reality nearly my entire life. In 2012, the first mainstream consumer attempt of what appeared to be a fully functional, pragmatic version of a virtual reality headset was launched by means of a Kickstarter campaign, which would turn out to be the first iteration of the Oculus Rift. Though I had heard whispers of VR before then, and despite being aware of the past failed VR experiments from the 80s and 90s, they were only mere rumors. The Oculus changed everything. For the first time in my life, I finally was able to believe that we were close to achieving meaningful virtual reality. Though it didn't match my fantasy-like expectations of what it should be to a T, it was beginning to look like it. Finally, it was time to take virtual reality seriously. I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight, and I knew from what I had seen of the Oculus Rift's capabilities that it was only just the beginning. And I knew it was far from perfect, and on the technical side still had a lot of work to be done. But it was headed in the right direction. Honestly, if money and expenses hadn't been an issue at the time, I probably would have bought a Rift at release myself. And in retrospect, I'm glad that I didn't, because I don't think it would have lived up to my expectations. And I think I would have just been disappointed. Even though I was unable to buy one, as VR headsets always seemed just out of my price range, my passion for virtual reality and my interest in it never waned. I tracked it over the years, following it as it grew and developed, watching as new headsets became available, as new companies took on new projects, and new games were developed, tested, and released. Though it was not possible for me to enjoy it directly, I enjoyed watching it grow, and enjoyed tracking its progress as it did so. albeit with slight envy in my heart. It might be just a glass half full way of looking at it, but do me a favor and close your eyes for a moment. Real tight, no peeking. Now think about someone you love, someone you care about, not a family member, someone you had to meet, a friend, a lover, maybe even a pet. Now imagine you hadn't met them when you had. Imagine you had just known them your entire life. Maybe you grew up together. Maybe you just met a few years earlier than you actually did. Do you think you and your friend would have the same story to tell others? Would you and your lover be able to tolerate each other if you had met sooner? Maybe. Maybe for some you would have gotten along even better. But I'm betting that for a lot of you, the answer is just complicated. The thing is, for better or for worse, you met them when you did, and those life experiences and relations from the past made you the person that you are today. It made you the person that befriended them to begin with, that person that fell in love with them. So in that sense, I'm glad that I waited. Though it may seem silly or short-sighted to some not to have jumped in sooner, I feel as if I did the right thing. Like it or not, we all have expectations for certain things in life. And even though I could sit here and try to pretend to remain objective when I experience VR for the first time, I have to be honest, I don't think I could. I think if it didn't live up to my expectations, I would just be disappointed. And for something that I am so passionate about, that would be crushing. The culmination of a lifetime of wonder and fascination with science fiction and virtual reality has finally been realized. For 8 years, I patiently waited since the first announcement of the Oculus Rift for not only the technology to be ready for me, but for me to be ready for it. And the time has finally come. About a month ago, I placed an order for a Valve Index VR kit, and it's finally arrived. I can't even begin to describe how I feel right now. Words really can't do it. I don't know if anything could. I have to show you. The emotions I'm experiencing after 8 years of waiting are almost surreal. Like, this isn't happening. I just can't believe it's finally time. I can't believe it's here. The time is now. And I can't wait to show you all exactly what it's like. Well, time to get started. Are you ready? See you soon.
Link start!